Hey, yo, what's the deal, man? It's your boy Tag from Pro Wrestling Tag. You know what I mean? As of this recording right now, it is 7:11 p.m. You know what I mean? May 14th, 2025. But the upload time of this is 11:30. You know, 11:30 p.m. Right now, I'm watching the Knicks game. You know what I mean? Like, Derek White just hit a three. I'm begging these motherfuckers to beat the Knicks. I'm begging these motherfuckers. And then, shout out to my boy. Shout out to my boy G, because he actually sent me a screenshot of a dude who I know by the name of Conqueror. And, Conqueror is this bum-ass motherfucker who dances and shit. You know what I mean? Like, for anyone who lives around the Crown Heights, Bed-Stuy area, you know what I mean? Like, y'all know who that motherfucker is. You know what I mean? Fake-ass Ron Artest-looking motherfucker. Like, come on, man. Fuck that nigga. If y'all know that nigga, if y'all like me talking about him, suck my dick. You know what I mean? Anyway, so this is a brand new installment of Pro Wrestling's What Ifs. You know what I'm saying? And I got a real interesting one. And I know Dynamite is coming on. Fuck Dynamite. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck. Right now, I'm watching this game. You know what I mean? And like I said, I'm hoping that the Knicks, fucking lose on this one. You know what I mean? Because I want to see the egg on their face, when they lose. And if they don't lose, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got Indiana, motherfucker. But anyway, this is the 5th installment. And so what I want to do today is I want to talk about tonight. I want to talk about one Stone Cold Steve Austin. You know what I mean? And I want to talk about what would have happened if Owen Hart would never had given him that power driver at SummerSlam 97. Right? Now, we know how great Steve Austin was. Now, I mean, we know how well he was. You know what I'm saying? Like, we know how great he was in that ring. He was fast and everything else. You see the difference in ring style, but from 1997 and then the next year when he won the WWF Championship. Right? So, again, these are my opinions, you know what I'm saying, or what I think would have happened, if that injury didn't happen. Because, that injury, after that injury, he retired in 2003 to, he retired, 5 years later. He was in a lot of fucking pain. A lot. Now, the first thing, I definitely think he would have had a longer career peak. No doubt about it. No fucking doubt about it. Like, he definitely would have been, he definitely would have wrestled longer. For sure. Way past 2003. Way past. Remember, he had to change his style. You know what I mean? He definitely had to change his style. He was more technical, too. You know what I mean? He was a lot more agile. He was a lot more fast with his shit. He was a lot more quick. Look at the match that he had with Brett at WrestleMania, right? Even before then, right? Before the injury. Look at his matches. He was a lot more quicker, right? He definitely was like in his WCW bag during that time, right? He wouldn't have the brawling style either. He definitely wouldn't have the brawling style. I think with Steve Austin, he had to change his style to keep afloat. So there were certain things he wasn't doing. There were certain bumps he wasn't taking and such. Maybe, he would have had more matches, with, he would have had longer feuds for sure. Now, I mean, he definitely would have had longer feuds with, the likes of Triple H and, and The Rock and such, right? Because again, he had to switch his style. But you know what though? I think it was actually not a bad thing. No, the injury was bad. No, don't get it twisted. But I think him switching his style to be a brawler, because, if you think about it like that, that gimmick, the Steve Austin gimmick is a brawling gimmick. You know what I mean? So he's basically going to want to fuck you up. You know what I'm saying? A match with him and Shawn Michaels definitely would have took place. When Shawn Michaels came back in 2002, clearly, I would have loved to see another match between him and HBK, without a shadow of a doubt, right? Let me see. The Attitude Era, basically, shit still would have been the same with the Attitude Era, no doubt about it. You know what I'm saying? No doubt about it. I mean, it still would have been the same, but maybe a little bit bigger. He definitely would have, been in, a full run in the year 2000. A full run. Because remember, he was out for a good period of time. Now, I mean, that the angle with the car wouldn't have took place, right? That definitely wouldn't have happened. When people wanted to find out who ran Steve Austin over, and wound up being, Rikishi. Remember, I did it for The Rock. You know what I'm saying? Like, it would have been that. There also would have been, bigger feuds. I mean, he would have, the match with him and Eddie Guerrero. You know what I mean? A match with him and, feuds. We're talking about him and Kurt Angle, him and Chris Jericho, him and Eddie Guerrero. You know what I mean? Like, there would have been crazy fucking feuds. Crazy feuds. And also, he definitely would have been the Ruthless Aggression era, he would have been a big staple in. You know what I mean? He definitely would have been also feuds with Brock Lesnar. And not just, the bullshit they try to have him do at King of the Ring. You know what I mean? Also, feuds that he never had before. Working with Cena, working with Batista, working with Randy Orton. You know what I mean? And then also we would have had that match with him and CM Punk. You know what I mean? Which I'm shocked we didn't get that now, because if Steve Austin came back just for that little match, I mean, that tells you something. But he also wouldn't have retired in 2003. No doubt about it. He definitely would not retire, against The Rock at WrestleMania 19. Now, I mean, I think he would have, I would have said that he probably would have wrestled or retired like in the 2010s. Now, I mean, because people were still wrestling during that time. So I think in the 2010s he would have definitely called it quits. You know what I'm saying? He clearly would have called it quits. No doubt about it. But I think the injury it definitely derailed some great moments that we were robbed, from his career. I think we were robbed because of that. You know what I mean? If Owen Hart didn't do the reverse power driver, you know what I mean? The tombstone power driver, I think, we would have got a lot more shit than what we had. But listen, he was fucking over. Steve Austin was over. No doubt, he was over. You know what I mean? And like I said, he was in a lot of pain and everything. Shit, a feud with Edge would have been fucking great. You know what I mean? A feud with fucking, let me see. Like, yeah, the people who we mentioned, JBL. Oh, shit. John Bradshaw Layfield. Let me see, who else? What the fuck? Let me see, who else? Kane. Brock. It would have been a lot of people who he had feuds with. You know what I mean? Especially in the 2000s. But what he had to switch his style up, in the 2000s. Because not only Steve Austin was gone, but The Rock was gone too. And there was a shift. There was sort of a shift in terms of how people perceive pro wrestling at that time. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's a little touchy when you think about it, but, nonetheless, I mean, he had a great career. But I'm not talking about these what ifs. You know what I mean? And, I'm going to go see what's going on with the Knicks. Matter of fact, let me walk over here and see as of right now what is the score. Like they just kind of, they had the box and such. I see Derek White just hit another 3. Oh, Boston is ready. All right, so it's 13-11. You know what I mean? Boston's up. I'm going to holler at y'all. You know what I mean? And they just fucking scored again. You know what I mean? Derek White just gave a lip. Now it's 15-11. So I'm going to definitely holler at y'all. All right? Peace.